Happy birthday. Yes, it is. It's the third birthday of our Sunday gathering. Welcome, everybody. So grateful you are here. It is also Mother's Day in many areas of the world. So if you're a mom, happy Mother's Day. We're so grateful you're here. I remember 3 years ago, boy, I didn't know what this thing was called Zoom. I didn't know how to press the buttons. I didn't even know well, we didn't know what we were doing, but we felt passion and love in our hearts. And we wanted to share something for a little while this thing called COVID was going on. Little did we know that it's turned into a internet and global sensation. And we are really grateful that you're spending your time with us. So welcome. Phil has choreographed our Sunday gathering for today. So I'm going to pass it over to him to explain more.
Thank you for that wonderful welcome, Sandra. Always a pleasure to see those sparkling eyes and wonderful smiling that you always give, because it's so welcoming to see that. Today is about the anniversary, not just the anniversary of the Sunday gathering. 3 years, as Sandra said. Who would have thought 3 years we'll still be here, as it was a team of people, friends that came together just to help people through that COVID period. But it's gone from strength to strength. We're stuck. Yes, we're stuck in a time warp. It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? But actually, it's been a marvelous thing, not just because we enjoy it, you enjoy it, but it's inspired so many people around the world to form their own gatherings in their own unique way. So, and it's absolutely a pleasure to feel part of every single one that has been started. So today's theme, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously anniversary, because it's our birthday, but because also it's Happy Mother's Day to certain parts of the world. So I want to say a personal Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there, all those mothers that are going to be, and for those people that have mothers in the spirit world who are thinking about them. It's really important to really congratulate everybody, because it's those mothers, we wouldn't be here without them. So today we have the wonderful Darren Wynn back with us. It's nice to see you again, Darren, all pretty in pink there. So it's an absolute pleasure to have him back. He's going to be doing the prayers. He's going to be helping with the address as well. He's going to be doing the reading. We've got Kerry doing the healing, but also part of the address as well. Sandra's going to be last on the address, because it's Sandra's real, she's the spokesperson for We Don't Die and the banner that we come under. So I thought I'd give Sandra that place right at the end to say a special thank you to you all. Avril Johnson Craig is going to be our medium, all the way down under from Australia. Okay, we're really pleased that you're here with us. It's always a pleasure. And Avril, we know from many times being on the Sunday gathering and being part of the group and community here as well. So it's an absolute pleasure. I've got a little bit in the middle of the address and the words of the week, just to give you that inspiration at the end. But I hope you're going to enjoy this special Sunday gathering, because to all of us here that present and all the guests that come on, it's a big thing to share a part of ourselves with you, to help you form those starts to the week or the end of the week, depending how you look at it, to celebrate life itself. And without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our wonderful Darren.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Phil. And it's a real pleasure to be back here after a few weeks off for our 3rd year anniversary. Who would have thought it, like Phil said, 3 years down the line, and here we are again. Anyway, it's my turn to do the opening prayer. You don't want to hear me rabbit on. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer for our 3rd year anniversary. We unite here together today as friends, brothers and sisters from across our world, coming together as one to be in service in any way we can and immerse ourselves in that wonder of the Sunday gathering. As we unite together as one under that banner of We Don't Die, we do so in celebration for celebrating the 3 years of our Sunday gathering, and to send out the love to all those ladies out there who claim that title Mother here today on Mothering Sunday. And for the joy and celebration of uniting the two worlds together as one once again here today. As we unite here today, we do so from different countries within our world. We do so speaking different languages and having different dialects, and we do so coming together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But today we unite here together as one, under the name of love, for the love of those in the unseen world. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we cast aside our own wants, our own needs, and our own desires, and we enter into this Sunday gathering with no demands and no expectations, but allow our workers here today to be free and open to work to the best of their ability, and allow those in the unseen world to work as they wish and share the thoughts and words they wish to share here today. As we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with an open heart and an open mind, allowing us all to immerse ourselves in the unconditional love that we can all feel here today, and take away the positivity and the healing from the words and thoughts that will be shared here today. Each and every one of us that works on behalf of the unseen world does so as an absolute joy and privilege. And each and every one of us will do this to the best of our ability and the best of our understanding. And we truly hope we can represent the unseen world here today in the best way possible. As we open up this Sunday gathering, we do so with positivity within our minds, smiles upon our faces, and an abundance of love, so that we can truly create that perfect meeting ground for us all to come together as one. And as always, we ask that that healing light is shone to all four corners within our world, to bring healing and comfort and joy and happiness to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this time. So without further ado, we welcome you here today, my friends. Amen. Okay, I'm going to go into our reading now. And it's a story about a lonely lady who never celebrated occasions until she hears a tiny voice singing on her 86th birthday. "When is your birthday, Miss Covino?" Timmy asked the older woman who always babysat him when his mother needed it. Miss Covino had dedicated her entire life to work, and after retirement, she noticed how lonely it had been. Therefore, she volunteered at charities, and all the neighbours knew she was always up for babysitting. For a lower price than regular nannies, having those children around made her feel less alone. And Timmy's question made her think about life and what she did on special days. Her birthday was not an important day by any means. Other people placed too much weight on the occasions, but Mrs. Covino never had. Most holidays or special days were of no consequence to her. On Thanksgiving, she ate grilled cheese and ordered fried chicken for Christmas. The 4th of July was spent watching television and trying to drown out the noise of fireworks. On Halloween, she would simply leave a big bucket of candies with a sign not to disturb her, but she only did that to prevent the kids from tricking her house. And her birthday was the loneliest day of all. Her parents were not the best people, and she remembered celebrating other people's special days and attending parties, but she never had her own celebration, never received her own presents, and as the years passed, she stopped caring. So she also forgot that her 86th birthday was coming up. "Actually, Timmy, my birthday is in a few days," she responded. The kid's eyes lit up at her words. "Really? Are you having a party? Can I come? Is it all adults? Will there be balloons?" Timmy asked rapid-fire questions. "Slow down, kid," Miss Covino laughed. "No, I'm not having any of that. I don't celebrate my birthday ever. That's for kids like you. I'm too old." "No, my grandma has a party on her birthday," Timmy protested, frowning. "Well, that's up to her." "So you should have one," the kid insisted. "Nope," Miss Covino responded and finally had an idea. "How about we go and get some cookies, kid?" Yay. That trick always works, especially on a 5-year-old child like Timmy. Her birthday came and the day was going as pleasant and as eventful as usual. She had breakfast and hoped that one of the neighbours would need her to babysit soon, because she missed the kids. There were very few people in her town in New Jersey, and most of the children on her street were polite, curious, engaging, and delightful. But since no one had called yet, Miss Covino decided to go out to her back porch and work on her knitting. She heard another neighbour, Miss Geller, was pregnant for the 3rd time, and it would be nice to make some baby clothes for her, so she got to work. She relaxed and forgot about the world as she threaded the needle and yarn in the intricate manner she had learned many years ago, until a tiny voice started singing. She raised her eyes to discover Timmy walking over from his yard with a cake in his hands. The candles were lit, and as he got closer, Miss Caverno heard his song more clearly. Happy birthday to you, the kids sang, smiling brightly. Behind him, Miss Cavino saw his mother, Tanya, who was grinning in a resigned way. Miss Cavino didn't know what to do as they both got nearer, and Timmy finished his song. Well, blow the candles. Wait, make a wish first and then blow out the candles, the boy insisted. The older woman shrugged and did as she was asked. Both he and his mother clapped and congratulated her. Happy birthday, Miss Cavino, Tanya said, kissing her cheek. Timmy told me a story about you not celebrating, and he thought we should buy you a cake. You shouldn't have. I really don't celebrate, she responded quietly to the younger woman's ear. Let's cut the cake, Timmy demanded. Well, only if Miss Cavino wants to share, Tanya told him, fake scolding him. Sure, let's cut it, the old woman conceded, and they went inside to eat the dessert. They were enjoying the chocolate delight when the doorbell rang, and to Miss Cavino's shock, another neighbour with her kids showed up. They were holding several platters of finger foods and a present for her. Happy birthday, Miss Cavino, they repeated, and the old woman had no idea what was happening. Other parents and their kids from the neighbourhood arrived just the same, and soon she was having a birthday party at her home. People brought her presents and food. They hugged, kissed, and congratulated her. They also thanked her for her efforts with babysitting. Someone put some music on, and her house was loud, full of and merry for the first time ever. Miss Cavino didn't know how to feel, but she was distracted from hosting everyone. She would later discover that Timmy told his friends about her birthday, and all the kids told their parents there was a potluck party at her house. Luckily, no one cared that they had already cut the birthday cake. When the evening ended, some of the neighbours helped her clean up, and they left. The old woman sat down on her bed to rest and thought about the day. How insane it had been. How strange it felt to celebrate herself for the first time. How happy everyone had been, and how cool it was to have people who cared to come. Finally, the emotional dam flooded over, and her tears spilled out. She wasn't sure they were entirely happy tears, as she had missed a whole lot of happiness over the years. However, that day had been special. It was one she would remember for the rest of her life. Her neighbourhood grew close after that party, and Miss Cavino started preparing for more occasions. She was invited to Thanksgiving at someone's house and spent Christmas with another neighbour. For the first time in her life, she gave out candy herself on Halloween, and she sat outside to enjoy the fireworks on the 4th of July. Suddenly, there was colour. There was something to look forward to every day. Suddenly, she understood why people celebrated and enjoyed all those festivities. Doing so made life brighter. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm going to hand you over to Karen McLeod.
Thank you very much, Darren. I know a lot of people don't celebrate birthdays around the world, but it's when other people celebrate it for you, isn't it a lovely surprise? So thank you very much for that reading, Darren. We're going to head into the healing moment, and we do have people all around the world that are in times of difficulty. We've got people around the world that are suffering through no fault of their own. And we have people around about the world who are entering to a period of loss, whether it be loss of any element of their life, or whether it's the loss of a person to the spirit world or through circumstance. We then have the people who have ill health. All of those people are requiring your healing, but they do require for you and I and everybody else here to send them something called smiles. When we send a smile to somebody, it lands with a power of love. Because did you know that if you speak on the phone and you don't smile, it sounds different to if you speak on the phone and you are smiling. So imagine what thoughts done with a smile do to the people it lands with. So whoever you know in the world who might be slightly unwell just now, if you know of anybody who's needing healing, send it there. If it's a community or a country or a part of the world, then send it there with a smile. Now, I'm going to ask you for a teeny tiny little part of that healing because there's a lot of us and we don't want to knock her over. If we can send a little bit to Sandra just to get her back on her feet super quick. But we don't want to send massive amounts, so don't send all to Sandra or she won't be able to take over because she'll be out sleeping. But if we can hold her in our thoughts, we'll be able to help Sandra and all the people that you know that are unwell at this time as well. So please listen to this song and enter into that healing silence. Thank you very much for taking part in the healing. We have people message us and email us and say, does healing really work? Yes, it does. We might not see how it impacts people, but it really, really does work. But here we are, as Sting said, they're walking through fields of gold. Now, gold is an anniversary, isn't it? Not very many people get to see their 50th anniversary in terms of wedding. We might not in the physical world have our 50th anniversary.
I hope we do.
Unless we live to a very old, ripe age.
But then I get less for life, wouldn't I, really? I don't get 25 years.
But if we have a look at the anniversaries that take place through our lives, there's all sorts. There's all sorts of numbers. There's all sorts of reasons. There's all sorts of celebrations. And when we think about the anniversary, it requires for us to track time. And time is a very earth-bound measure, isn't it? We've heard the spirit world say in the spirit world, there's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as minutes and months and years. They understand the concept. By goodness, they used to work with that concept. But I wonder what it would be like to have no time, literally, for time to not matter. Would we need to track anniversaries? Would we be able to register that certain period of time had passed? Or would we be in the moment with how that moment felt? Now, some of you might be mothers. Some of you might still have mothers here on earth. Some of you might have mothers in the spirit world. Some of you might have people who are like mothers to you. And when I was looking at mothers, I had a thought to look at who was or what is Mother's Day around the world. Mother's Day doesn't just happen on 2 different days in the year. Did you know Mother's Day happens all through the year? Not just because mums are special and every day should be a Mother's Day anyway, but because from February, as Norway celebrates their Mother's Day, through to today, which is primarily Guernsey, Isle of Man, Ireland, and the UK, as we move into the months of April, it moves into Eastern Europe. A lot of Eastern Europe celebrates Mother's Day there. And then we go to the first Sunday in May, where lots and lots and lots of countries, including Australia and the States, New Zealand, Canada, and many more. We all have different ways and different days of celebrating a very special day. Mothers are, as Phil said, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have one, whether we know a whole lot about them or whether we don't. Mothers are a very special element within our lives, those that play the role of mother. Those we choose to serve and remember anniversaries with have to have been very special to us. That's the reason we note it, isn't it? That's the reason that Sandra, Phil and I and Darren and today Avril celebrate the Sunday Gatherings birthday, because it's important. It's what it represents. We've had some beautiful messages on the chat saying what it's meant to you, what this birthday, what this time, those 3 years has meant to you. We've received so many contacts, messages, emails, and I know the others have too, saying what it's meant to you, how having that stability going through your years has the Sunday Gathering has represented. For us too, lockdown isn't a time we all want to go and have a look at a close proximity again, because it was a challenging time for lots of reasons. But every Sunday, Monday if you're south of the equator, we would be here at this time doing something we love because the spirit world wanted it to be. The spirit world clearly wants it still to be here, because 3 years on, here we are. We celebrate things, and those things should be celebrated every single day. The people, the places, the events, what it means to us should be celebrated every single day. So yes, today's Mother's Day here in the UK and the British Isles, but wherever you are, allow yourself to know what today means to you. Might be different tomorrow. Maybe it's a you day.
It's an absolute pleasure as always to be here and to speak on the Sunday Gathering. But I think where I started off today by introducing and saying to those mothers, Happy Mother's Day, I think we need to say another happy birthday to another special mother, the mother of We Don't Die, Miss Sandra Champlain. Because without Sandra, we wouldn't have a home. I got a little bit emotional there. It's not something I do often. So I want to say thank you to Sandra. And I'm sure if you all would say thank you and how much you love her in the chat box, it'd be absolutely amazing, because this lady in front of you all has touched you in so many different ways, not just with all the things she does as a service to you because she believes in it. She's a servant to humanity, because she has so much love, so much life within her that she can't help but inspire us all. It's an absolute pleasure to call her a friend, but also a colleague as well. And I'm struggling with my words because there is a lot of emotion as I say all that, because the things we look at today, the theme is anniversaries. We celebrate things because commercially, as Kerry said, in different places where we're expected to do these things. Well, for me, a Mother's Day is every day. I believe today is a Father's Day as well in Italy. And so every day there is something that we need to cherish, and that is life, and those that gave us life and inspire us to live the best life that we can. We also have milestones in life called birthdays. Those birthdays, just as today, 3 years of the Sunday Gathering, that concept between Darren and Sandra. Well, actually, it's more important that we remember the actual birth of our children, because they are the future, they are the tomorrow. So for me, when we have birthdays and we all share them, myself and Kerry have a different aspect, a different way that we look at these things, because we don't just buy a gift because it's our birthday. We buy meaningful gifts throughout the year for each other, the things that we need, the things that are important. But again, we celebrate where we came from and the person that brought us into this world, not just one, but fathers as well. And it's that understanding of a milestone. But actually, if we sit and we reflect for a moment, look at all the things that we've achieved. Look at all the things that we've experienced. Just because it has a title of a special day doesn't mean that we can't celebrate every single moment of every day. that how one lady has spoken about Sandra Champlain, Miss Velocity, Miss America, Miss Wonderful, Miss whatever you want to call her, because she is that. Every day when we speak to her, there's a spring in her voice. There's a smile and sparkle in her eyes that infuses us all. So for myself and Kerry, every day is that anniversary. I mean, Kerry's alluded to different types of anniversaries, wedding anniversaries. I mean, we do some things that are very special for each other on wedding anniversaries. I know we've got our 4th one coming up this year. And again, from my understanding, we get the colour of yellow for our wedding anniversary. But more importantly, it's the days in between that we celebrate, the joy that we bring to each other, the life that we lead, the life that we live. After a year, you're given that colour of blue in different places, but silver is 25 years and gold is 50 years. I mean, it's a marvellous experience, and 50 years sharing time with one another, becoming not just husband and wife, but best friends, colleagues, doing everything together, raising, making decisions. So anniversaries are very, very special. And I know I've mentioned Sandra a few times, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on mentioning her all the time, because she has many birthdays, not just of when she was born. She's written a book. She's done so many podcasts. It's into the hundreds. Every one of those is an anniversary, a monument, a day to remember where we've all learned and taken gratitude from. So every day, ladies and gentlemen, is special. We don't need to buy gifts. We can share the gift of each other with those special people, making memories right here and now. For me, I have got so many through my life. I've got so many that I'm still looking forward to, with this young lady sat at the side of me. And it's those memories that create special things that I can look back on over time, not just with how we smile, but the things that we've done, the moments we've sat and reflected. It was only the other day where we were stood at the side of the sea, and we were thinking where the consciousness has shifted to where we're going to be in Vancouver next week, to the people that we're going to meet, to the demonstration, to those loved ones in the spirit world. It made me realize that there might be a vast amount of water between the United Kingdom and Canada, and mountains and other obstacles, but actually consciously a thought, a memory, a love, nothing can get in the way of that. That can move, that can transpire, that can grow. And it's the memories that we're going to make that we'll look forward to. So if I can get you to remember anything from today, it's to make every day a special day. Make every day with something you do that is difficult an anniversary, knowing that you've conquered, that you've mastered, that you've learned and you've grown. Do it with a smile on your face. Do it with a sparkle in your eyes. And as you do that, just like Sandra, you'll inspire many, many people, thousands of people, to be better, to be grateful, to be loving, and to be hopeful. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that film, Kerry. It was lovely to listen to you two talk, on this topic. And I got to thinking, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? Because I agree wholeheartedly with everything you guys have just spoken about, and Sandra and the whole thing. And I think for me, myself, I'm a little bit like the lady I spoke about in my reading. I'm not a big one for celebrating, and I'll let you into a secret. I never celebrate my birthdays, neither does Scott. We don't do Valentine's Day. We don't do any of that stuff. We would rather, Christmas, absolutely, because it's friends, it's family, it's a whole different scenario. But for me personally, I don't like the attention on myself, which I suppose that's why I don't really celebrate my birthdays. I like to celebrate things with people, something that's for everyone, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, that kind of stuff. And kind of similar to what Phil was talking about, we don't celebrate our birthdays. We don't really do Christmas presents for each other, because we think it's just you're buying something just for the sake of buying something. Like Phil said, we'd rather do stuff throughout the year that's more meaningful, more joyful, we get more from it. So we tend to ignore all our celebrating, and we kind of, when we go away on the rare occasion that happens, we try and plow all that celebrating into one with our holiday. You know, we do what we want to do, go out for nice meals or whatever it is. So yes, I'm not a really big one for celebrating unless it's with people. Like I said, and I know we've been to Disney with Sandra, and I know Sandra's one. She probably won't say, but she doesn't really celebrate her birthday either. You're a bit like us, and we made her celebrate her birthday when we was out there. She had no choice, and we made her wander around with a big badge saying "Happy birthday! It's my birthday today," and what have you. And you know what? It was nice to see how people interact and engage when they know you're celebrating. If people know you're celebrating, they kind of want to be on board with you and celebrate with you and be happy for you. And I think that's why, for me, I like, you know, more the Christmas time, because you're all celebrating as one. You're not just putting your attention to one person. You're all celebrating. So I think for me, that's probably one of the only events that I really, really kind of really go all out for, because it's for everyone. You know, we can all get joy and satisfaction and happiness from it. And here we are today, you know, we're all together today, you know, celebrating 3 years on from this Sunday gathering. And I was sitting here thinking about it earlier. I thought, wow, 3 years. It almost seemed like yesterday we was only just starting our Sunday gatherings. And it's hard to believe. I know they say as you get older, time goes faster, and it certainly does, because it does not seem like 3 years to me. And I think it was 2019, September, October 2019, we started talking about the Sunday gathering before COVID even came about. And for me, it was, and I know for Sandra and the other guys, you know, I don't like things being done in the wrong way. I'm quite, I've got a little bit of OCD. Things have to be done right, with the right intention, you know, everything has to be in its right place. And when you see, and we've all seen it over the years, I've been involved with spiritualism for a number of years, and you can see when it's done right and when it's not done right. And when I'm talking about it not being done right, I'm talking about the person, you know, have they got the right intention? Have they got, you know, are they there for money? Are they there for fame? Or are they there to be a true spiritualist, which is to be there for the people, helping people, helping people, you know, to comfort people and heal people. And over the years, I've seen so many variations, and I get quite frustrated and annoyed when I see it. You see people, they're there for the fame, they're there for the money, they're not there for the right intention. And this is kind of the conversation me and Sandra had back in 2019. And, you know, I've been to many Sunday services, you know, some of them are fantastic, some of them are wonderful. But on the flip side, like everything in life, you know, you've got people doing things for the wrong reasons, you know, and you can feel it, you can sense it. And what annoys me even more is when you've got someone there grieving and in need, and you've got these individuals that are not fulfilling that. They're trying to fulfill their needs, their happiness. Well, actually, you've got someone here in front of you that's in need of that comfort, that healing, whatever it may be. And it really, you can hear me getting onto my soapbox now about it all. But that's what was kind of the driving force, I think, behind, and I'm sure Sandra will agree with me, that was the driving force behind the start of the Sunday gathering. Because we both said, wouldn't it be nice to have a Sunday service of some sort where the mediums are not, you know, they're not robots, they kind of work within their own parameters, you know, their own comfort zone, but be the true them, you know, let the essence of them come through. Not, you know, you go to organizations, you're told to do this, do that, stand up this, say this word, dress like that. We wanted it to be respectful, absolutely, but to be done in a nice way. And obviously Sandra's now the driving force behind all this. She was the one that started it all up, and, you know, she came up with all the ideas and really drove it forward and began it all. And look where we are now, 3 years down the line, and who would have thought it? And I truly hope, I was sitting here thinking about it earlier, the conversations myself and Sandra had about what we wanted to achieve, the goals we wanted to achieve, how we wanted it to look, how we wanted it to run. And I think Phil's just kind of backed that up, you know, about all the lovely comments you said about Sandra. Sandra's done it. You know, I believe, as a We Don't Die umbrella, our team, that we're on our pathway, we're on a journey, we're still learning. But I really, truly hope it's all coming across in the right way, and we're getting across the message that we want to get across. You know, we want everyone to be themselves. We want everyone to be comfortable. We want everyone to be part of something. And we want you all to get something from it. And I truly hope that you guys are. And that for me is a celebration in itself. You know, I couldn't, you know, I'm smiling. I couldn't think of anything nicer to be part of. You know, there is no ego. You know, hopefully, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me, everyone here you see on camera, or you may not see them all because on different screens, but everyone you see on camera throughout this Sunday gathering and other people that are involved with the Sunday gathering, they're all here to be of service. They're all here to help you. We're all here to help each other. We're all here to work together. And that for me is what Spiritism should be about. And so that to me is what the We Don't Die brand and Sandra stand for. So I thank you for listening to me, and we have something wonderful to celebrate. And I'm now going to hand you over to the wonderful Sandra.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. And I've been reading all the messages in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you for that. You know, first of all, I do have a cold and I'm fine. It's on its way out, but thank you for all the well wishes. I thought it would be funny if after that healing was done that I was no longer on screen, you know, how much healing you sent me, but I feel it. I love it. I thank you. It's interesting because I think I found the magic formula for having it all. I do. You know, what Phil always does is he's like, I want to tell you, come a little closer, come a little closer. That always makes me laugh, Phil, when you do that. It is not being perfect. It is having a life that hurts, that there's grief, that there's pain, that there's all those internal questions. Am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Am I on my life's purpose? It is having heartache in relationships, having the fear of the unknown. It is getting to the deepest, darkest places and not knowing if you'll ever breathe again. And then having this insight as to, you know, this isn't who I am. I think a lot of the journey we go on as souls and having this spiritual journey comes out of us hitting rock bottom. And I know I'm not alone here, that many of us have experienced really deep, dark grief, and many are feeling it right now. It's a very uncomfortable, very uneasy place to be. So yes, every week we try to put a smile on your face and let you know there is a bigger picture. But I think being in that muck, it's the nicest word I can say for it, it does make a difference because it has us asking the big questions. Who am I? What is my life for? What really matters? My mom and I were living life really fast forward before COVID. You know, for over 30 years, we ran a very successful catering business, cooking for race car teams. And one of the big races that we usually worked was on television yesterday, a 12-hour race in Sebring, Florida. And I just had this flashback to where we were and where we are now. And I now appreciate the trees and nature's little critters. I appreciate the simple things, but it's been a journey that I didn't anticipate happening. It's having the rug pulled out from underneath me, not knowing how I'm going to pay the bills, not knowing what's going to happen. And somewhere along the line, I gave up having to look good, having to be right, having to rehearse the right thing before I started talking. I investigated what it is to be human. I've investigated what is the reality as far as life after death. And I couldn't do anything but share it. I don't push, as you know, many of you listen to my stuff. I don't push, but I just offer what my experiences are. And something miraculous has happened in that time. You know, I've got unsettled business with family members. Well, that's the nicest way to put it. But what I've got now is my true family. I've got my mom, I've got my aunt, but I've got Darren, Scott, Carrie, and Phil. True family, and I love them. And you want to know the secret behind the Sunday gathering is because we love each other. We love making a difference. I think the spirit world says when you can get on your path, even if you don't know what it is, concentrate on serving others and be inquisitive into the things that interest you. Share your love with another person and good things will follow. So I know you guys sent me lots of nice messages in the chat box and I will receive them graciously. but this goes for everybody as well. And I share them with my whole Sunday gathering team. Now let's talk about birthdays, shall we? I know my birthday's April 8th, as a matter of fact. And as a little kid growing up, I would always look at the calendar or at my watch when it had that magical 8, because that was my day. It's my day. And I think birthdays, anniversaries, special holidays, they're important. It is so easy to deflect when somebody tells you something. So when Phil was saying all those nice things, I was here cringing like, oh my God. But then I thought, I'm going to speak about, don't do that. Let it sink in. And not for a matter of ego, but for a matter of saying, this is who you really are. This is who you are in our eyes. This is the difference you made. Our mind wants to deflect. Our mind wants to think about the past and stew about what we could have done differently. Our mind wants to think about the future in fear. It does not want to sit with who we are, the accomplishments we've had, what other people say about us. I mean, that's really who we are. We are not who the little voice in our head tells us that we are, not good enough and all those kind of things. We are who the people in our life tell us that we are. And I think that deserves celebration. Not for the big ego. Like I said, it's so easy to try to deflect that. That's why so many people don't like birthdays. But I'm going to ask you just to reconsider that those words people share with you, they're sharing them with you because you've touched their lives. It's made a difference. And instead of the ego kicking in and trying to deflect, but take it in. Because all of those things added together, I believe, fuel the fire for where we're all going. I may show up on camera with a big smile on my face every week or on the podcasts. Yes, I try to smile in my podcasts. But the thing is you don't have any idea what's happened to me the 24 hours before. There are days that aren't so good. But keeping involved in this conversation, looking for the reality of the afterlife, looking for these magical things. They're not magic, it's reality, but these opportunities to share what I love every Sunday, being with all of you and my co-hosts as well, and having the mediumship portion and having the spirit world represent themselves that we're real, we're here, this is a real thing. It gives me that shot in the arm. So I want everybody to just pretend right now, today is your birthday. Today, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. No one's told you that. Happy birthday. Now try not to deflect this, but I want to tell you, you're one of a kind. I know that life has not been easy. I know that it's been a very hard road. I know you wake up in the morning unsure of yourself. I know you do have people in your life that love you. I do know that you have people in your life that will have great stories of great things that you've done together. I do know you've had happy times. I do know you're worth celebrating. I do know that you're somebody who loves to laugh. I know you're somebody who loves to share. And I do know that if we were all together at Disney, like Darren mentioned, we would have a big group together, and sure, I'd hold the umbrella leading the way, and we'd be on all the rides and having fun together. I know you're somebody who wants to love and have fun. So today, your birthday is your special day. It really is. Take some time, maybe after the Sunday gathering, and think of all the things, or many of the things that you've done in your life, some of the accomplishments, some of the joys, some of the times you've helped others. And I want to thank you on today, your birthday, for being that one-of-a-kind person. There will never be another you. You've hit people in their hearts in a way nobody else ever has. So today, my friend and friends, it's your day. It's your birthday. And the same goes through for our Sunday gathering and my team. We will never know the difference that we've made in so many lives. And even though it may take something each week to think of the theme and find the music and all of that, I think you guys can share with me that after our 90 minutes on a Sunday gathering is complete, we are as high as a kite, feeling on top of the world, and we get back 1,000 times more than we put in. So once again, everybody, happy birthday. And just to leave you with a little funny note, I didn't have the technology to do this, but I wanted to take a picture of a 3-year-old child and then superimpose Carrie, Phil, Darren, and my faces on it to see what that creature would look like. Something tells me it wouldn't be the most attractive, but I can tell you it'd probably be the most fun person that we have amongst us. So thank you for that. We're going to move now to our demonstration of mediumship, and we have the beautiful Avril here from Australia, who, God bless her, woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to be here with us. She is a beautiful lady. She has love in her heart for humanity and for the spirit world. There's something so special about having the medium demonstration on our Sunday gatherings. And while not everyone gets a reading, there are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of our loved ones all gathered together today. Yes, they're in the spirit world, but they're literally right by your side. They're behind you right now, smiling, thinking, God, I wish you could see us. We're here. We support you. We love you. So we get an opportunity for a few representatives of the spirit world to just let everybody know that they're alive, they're well, they're living their best life, but they are still part of our lives. So if this is your first time here on the Sunday gathering, I usually run through the do's and the don'ts, so to speak. And if you've been here before, oh, well, it's your birthday, so just join in the celebration and pretend you've never heard it before. How about that? Avril will be contacted by some people in the spirit world. We are still living people with our own personalities, our sense of humor, as we have seen quite a bit. And they will, how they do it, I don't know, but plant thoughts and messages and pictures and feelings and sometimes smells and tastes and who knows what within her being. And she'll do the very best to share with you the person that's come through and messages. I ask everybody to listen to these messages as if they are messages for you, because I find, there's a lot I can learn from the folks in the spirit world. She will start off by giving a few initial bits of information about the person, maybe if they're male or female or what the relationship is, maybe what they did for a living. It's up to them what they share. But we want you to be on the edge of your seat and really listen in. Is this a person that I knew and loved that no longer walks this earth? Could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a work colleague, could be somebody a little distant that you didn't know so well, but you knew them. They sometimes work in interesting ways to get to the right person, so we'll let them do what they do. But after she gives those few initial bits of information, if you can recognize every bit of information that she just said is somebody that you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. And people have already got the jump on me. Go ahead and find that raise hand button on your device and press it just to see how it works. Go ahead, do it. Remember, we're celebrating birthdays today. Oh, look at all the curmudgeons that aren't pressing the button, you guys. We can see who's pressing them. We can see who's naughty and nice. Of course, that's Christmas. But it should say now, lower hand, and go ahead and press that lower hand button. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to get to the right person. Sometimes there are people in our community that share the same information, so it may take a few minutes. But if you're someone who gets asked to work with Avril, I'm going to ask you to press your unmute button. Now, you can't see that right now. It requires me to press a button on my side here for you to see that. We don't need to see you. We just need to hear a nice loud yes or no if you can understand the information that she's bringing you. Because like I said, she's working on behalf of the spirit world. It's not an easy job to be a medium, and I know all of our students know that. You just have to trust in what's coming through in your being and vocalize it. So if she gets something wrong, it's perfectly all right to say no. It's a new opportunity, as Carrie and Phil shares, to look in for what the correct thing that the spirit world is trying to say. So say yes or no, or I don't know. Don't volunteer any information. I know it's always exciting. You want to share. We do. You can tell us about it after the Sunday gathering, but not during. Just yes, no, or I don't know, so that everybody knows that the information is really coming through from the spirit world. So that's pretty much how it goes. And what we'd like to do always is play a song before we start. And of course, I think you're going to know this as we are celebrating. Might be a little song called Celebrate or Celebration. Well, you know it. It's a good opportunity to take a moment, quiet your mind, listen to the song, sing and dance if you like, but imagine your loved ones packed in that space around you, wishing you happy birthday, of course, but letting you know that they're still alive and well. They do work through our imagination. It's easy to brush off, but that is how they communicate. So let's go to our song, and then we will be back with the beautiful Avril for our demonstration. Yeah, baby, it's a celebration right here, right now. Hello, Avril.
Hello, Sandra, and happy birthday to the fabulous four. What an occasion to celebrate. I mean, 3 years of the spirit world being able to touch, to reconnect with their loved ones. And as I say that, the emotion is overwhelming, and it's absolutely not coming from me. So I can feel it from the spirit world. I can feel the absolute joy of celebration and love. So I'm going to move my mind to the spirit world before I get too emotional. I would have liked to have said a few more things, but I'm getting told to get a move on and get to work. So, and this is Mothering Sunday in many parts of the world. So let's celebrate that. However, I have to say on Mothering Sunday, I have Father coming forward. And I know that Father had a serious incident with a helicopter. So I'm going to put that out, Sandra. If you can see anyone can understand Father in spirit that had a serious incident in a helicopter.
Thank you very much, Avril. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you understand this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. Avril, we do have Emily with her hand raised. Let's bring her in. Hi,
Hello, Emily.
Hello.
May I work with you, Emily?
Yes, of course.
So with this incident with Dad, I feel that this stopped him getting to an important celebration. Would you
No.
understand that?
No.
All right, I may have misinterpreted, you know, what's coming forward here, but I do believe Father would have spent he would have spent quite a lot of time in helicopters.
No.
All right. But you would understand with this incident with the helicopter, it stopped him coming home for some time.
It stopped him coming home for good. It's actually my father-in-law.
All right. Can I just ask? Let me work this before you give me information. Sorry to interrupt you there. And I heard this is father-in-law. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I can be wrong with the relationship. That's fine. Now, and I want to just establish that we're definitely with you. Now I feel with Father, he did play a significant mothering role. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And I feel that, you know, with this helicopter, I did feel it was a helicopter crash, and I actually felt it was in a very remote location.
No.
Okay. If that's not correct, would you know that it was would you understand that the location that the helicopter went down, your father-in-law had spent some time in? Now I'm going to take that back because I know that's incorrect. As I say that, I can feel that's not quite right. I do believe that your father-in-law would have spent some time in remote locations, maybe not in this incident.
Yes.
And I feel he was very well practiced at looking after himself when he was in locations that were quite isolated.
Yes, I can take that.
Yes. But I know I want to get back to the mothering role. So, you know, when he died in this incident, I believe your husband must have been reasonably young. Do you understand that? He wasn't an adult.
No.
No. And if that's not right, then, and this sounds very generic, but it's not, you would understand that your husband's father's death was a huge impact into your husband's life.
Absolutely.
And that sounds very generic, but I feel it's not, because I feel his father had a very significant role, parenting role in his life.
Yes.
And am I correct in saying that his father was the sole carer for your husband?
Not him, but his sisters.
All right. Because I just feel that Dad had played a significant mothering role to your husband.
Yes, I can take that.
In its caring and its nurturing and its guidance.
Yes.
So I know this man, uncharacteristically to his era, he could embrace the full mothering role. Do you understand that?
Yes.
But I feel that when you would know, your husband and you would have discussions that he wasn't always that good at talking about or articulating his feelings.
Absolutely, yes.
But he had that loving presence. And you would understand what I mean by that.
Oh, yes.
But I know, as I say that, you know, your father-in-law makes me feel that he should have expressed more in words. You understand?
Yes.
And I know that you have taken over that mantle of responsibility to guide your husband.
Yes, I think yes.
Because I believe your father-in-law is making me feel that you are very articulate and you can help your husband to express his emotions.
Yes.
Because I know from your father-in-law that like father, like son.
Yes.
And I don't know if you're going to like this, but I definitely have the words, you know, you're a wonderful mother to your husband.
I just said that yesterday. Yes.
So I'm going to leave you with that, and please, you know, let your husband, I was going to say let your son know that his father's been here. Let your husband know that his father's been here. And the humor that's coming through from your father-in-law is lovely.
Oh, thank you, Avril, so much.
And you know, and thank you for letting me work with you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, ladies.
Right. All right. As I become aware of the spirit world again, I'm very aware of two mums in spirit coming forward, and I believe the recipient I'm looking for in our community would understand that she called both these ladies mum. and that they all live together in the same house. So thank you, Sandra.
Oh, thank you very much. So, two ladies in the spirit world, both called Mum. You called Mum and lived together in the same house? Specific. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who understands these ladies in the spirit world? No hands up, Avril, just yet.
I know I may have been incorrect with living in the same house, but I absolutely want to stay with two ladies that you called Mum and that had a very regular mothering role to our recipient.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a hand up. Ima, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Oh, we've got a few hands that have gone up. I spoke too soon. All right. Avril, we have 4 people with their hands raised.
That's great. So I'd like to go back to the information that no one could understand. I would like to go back to, I feel we all lived in the same house together. So you and your 2 mums.
All right. Can any of you take that? I know 1 hand just went down. 2 hands went down. Barbara and Ima, both of your hands have remained up.
Okay, so I'd like to stay and work with these 2 ladies.
We are down to 1.
We're down to 1. Thank you.
All right. Ima, if you could press your unmute button. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. It's a beautiful name, Ima. Meet Avril.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ima. May I work with you?
Yes, gladly.
Now, as I blend with, I'm aware of both these ladies here, I would have to say that their personalities were quite different. It was like chalk and cheese.
Yes.
And sometimes I know that they were so different that would give you great experience and diversity of people's characters. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I can take that.
Yeah, sorry, that sounded a bit confusing. And I know as I say that, these ladies were not confusing. They spoke very clearly and very directly, and you were under no illusion what either of them meant.
Yes.
When they were parenting you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
But I feel it could be a bit confusing at times because they were so different.
I don't know.
All right. But would you understand these ladies were sisters?
No.
Well, if they weren't sisters, I have to say they could have looked like sisters.
No.
No. All right. Now let me go back to this personality, because I know that the household when you were all together was quite lively.
Yes.
And I know that both of them were very strongly grounded in their cultures.
Yes.
But I feel that culturally they were, am I correct in saying they were from different cultures?
No.
Just saying, okay, that's fine. But I know as I am aware of both of these ladies in spirit, they could give mixed messages at times. They could be quite confusing.
Yes.
Because one would want you to go right and the other one would want you to go left.
Yeah, we can say that.
So one would give you advice in one direction and the other would give you advice in another direction. And it was very different.
It was different, but not
It was
advice.
different. Thank you, but thank you for that. And I know that they cared for you from you were quite a young child.
Yes.
And I know that they protected you, they kept you, and they kept you safe. And
Yes.
I feel protection was very important.
Yes.
And because I know that it wasn't a wealthy family life. There wasn't
Right.
abundance of material things.
Yes.
But there was abundance of guidance.
Yes.
And there was, and I know that these ladies had, I feel these ladies had experienced a lot of conflict in life.
Yes.
And that's why they understood how to protect you so carefully.
That can be that I don't know.
All
But
right,
was,
that's fine. But I'm aware that they felt that protection was very important.
yes.
And I feel at times that could be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I really feel that both these ladies would they would show their love practically rather than through conversation.
One of them, yes.
Oh, all right, because I've got, and thank you for saying that, because I do have quite different personalities and quite different priorities between the two of your mums.
Yes.
And I know that could, I feel that sometimes they would argue in front of you, but it wasn't serious. It was part of growing up. It was part of discussion.
Yes.
And I know that, and I was wrong before, that discussion and debate were very, very important to them. If that's wrong,
yes.
if that's wrong, you
It's
would
true
understand.
for one of them.
Okay, but you would understand that they really wanted you to use your voice and to discuss things and to express yourself.
To one of them, yes.
Okay, well, we'll stay with the strong lady that's coming forward the most. And I feel that she really encouraged you to speak up and to find your true self.
Yes. But that was
because
not that
yeah.
was the more quiet one.
Okay, well, I don't have time to separate the both and go into much detail, but I just know that you were a quiet child, and they really wanted you to speak out and to embrace your authentic self.
Yes.
And I feel that at the moment you're at the cusp of doing that in a much grander scale.
Right. Correct.
You understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
And they've come forward to absolutely celebrate that with you.
Oh, thank you.
And
That's
the
amazing.
love I feel from them is I just want to have a big group hug. Do you understand?
Yes.
And it's almost like
you.
there must have been a sort of a hug, you know, a group hug, and then some sort of, I don't know, high five or something. Do you understand that?
After I forced them, yes.
that is wonderful. So thank you for letting me work with them.
Thank you very much.
Please take their love.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm aware, Sandra, of Mum coming forward, and I believe that Mum Mum was ill for a long time, and I know that she suffered from. I feel Mum suffered from embarrassing symptoms. So that sounds very general, but I know Mum's humor around this was very, very strong. So let me just stay with me a bit. Let me stay with this a bit longer and try and knot it down. So I actually know that Mum had lifelong symptoms that were embarrassing, and I know that absolutely she had fortitude, and she would never apologize for having these symptoms. It was actually became part of life for her.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you understand this lovely lady in the spirit world, press your raise hand button, please. Everyone's thinking, but no hands are raised, Avril.
All right. Well, I may have that, and that sounds rather embarrassing and difficult, but I actually feel that Mum would have championed, this would be a specific condition, and Mum would have been a real champion for this type of condition and with indigestion, and she would have, you know, she really would have made differences for other people. So I feel she would have been part of leading a group to understand these types of conditions.
Okay, Danielle has her hand raised. Bring in Danielle. Danielle, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Danielle.
Hello.
Welcome.
Danielle, may I work with you?
Yes.
Now, you would understand that Mum helped people with this condition. I feel she brought awareness to this type of condition. Do you understand that?
Danielle, are you there?
You cut out, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Did you hear her information that your mom?
No, I didn't, sorry.
That your mom brought awareness to others about this type of condition?
Yes, actually, it was my grandmother.
Oh, thank you. And sometimes the relationship is not there, but you absolutely understand this condition.
Definitely, yes.
And I just feel from grandmother, I feel I'm really, she's so determined that this should not be hidden from public view.
Yes.
And I feel this condition, a lot of women suffer from.
Yes.
And I just feel with grandma, I feel when your grandmother, you know, she had this almost as a lifetime disability.
Yeah, a lot of.
But however,
I
feel that she did not, she was a champion for promoting that this was not a disability.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, and I feel that when you know, for a considerable period of your grandmother's time, there was no label to this condition.
That's true.
So I feel it wasn't medically recognized.
Not at first, no.
Okay, and you know, and I feel from her that you would know that she championed actually labeling this as a condition.
She did, yes.
And would you understand that this had to do with gluten intolerance?
It could have. Yet not necessarily. She didn't know about that, but she could have.
Right. Okay. But it would be on that spectrum. Do you understand that?
Same body parts, yes.
Okay. Thank you. And you would understand that this would interfere with ladies' ability to get pregnant.
No.
Just say no, but it would certainly interfere with their mothering role.
Yes.
And this is still a very significant health condition today.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah. And I know that although your grandmother championed, you know, things being said as they are, not hiding these things, because this condition must have been quite embarrassing at times.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
And I feel that your grandma was you would know that your grandma, it angered her that it was such an embarrassing condition that most women would not reveal that they had these issues.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel that your grandmother had many heated interactions with medical professionals about
Oh,
this.
that's very true.
That's
yes.
And I have to say, as I hear your voice, I know that in terms of speaking your opinion, you're a chip off the old block.
Oh, that's true too.
And I know that the grandmother was very straight talking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And would but was and I do feel she wasn't from a highly educated background.
That's true.
But I feel that she would not back down to those medical professionals that tried to bamboozle her with medical terms.
Yes.
And I do know that your grandma passed before she could achieve what she really, before that medical condition was labeled.
Partially.
That's all right. But there certainly was something. Did she miss an important celebration to do with that work?
She missed the partially. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And because I do feel sadness for that, but I just feel that, you know, her body was giving up at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel that, you know, from her words, she had a good innings.
Yes.
So I know she battled it with extreme fortitude.
Yes, she did.
And I know she wants to bring that extreme fortitude to you. Because I just feel that there's some things that your grandmother didn't manage to achieve that you are now on the path to achieving. It may not be in that. Absolutely. And I know that she always encouraged you as a small child to use your voice for advocacy.
Yes.
And you have never stopped using your voice for advocacy.
That's true.
And you have reached many people with your knowledge.
Yes.
And you have changed many people's lives.
I hope so.
Thank you. Take your grandma's love, Danielle, and thank you for working with me.
Thank you very much, Alvaro.
Oh, thank you. And Alvaro, thank you so much for waking up early and delivering those beautiful messages from the spirit world. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, as much as we love to hear the messages, the truth is our friends and loved ones in the spirit world no longer have voices. And there's things they need to say, even if it's, we're still here with you. And so you can tell each week the different personalities that come through, some stronger, some funnier, some different, you know, it's just, we're still people when we transition. So Avril, thank you really for your commitment to humanity. And Carrie and Phil, thank you for training such beautiful mediums as well. So just a few announcements, and then I'm going to pass it over to Phil. Well, our home base is wedon'tdie.com. As it is our birthday today, make it your home. It's our website, really. You can find well over 500 episodes between my two podcasts of We Don't Die Radio and Shades of the Afterlife, of really interesting things that talk about the evidence of the afterlife. We have to be proactive about this. Things just don't always fall on our lap, but find something, a topic that you're interested in. And if you'd like, be my guest and certainly listen. You'll also find a Sunday gathering link there. I know there have been people asked how they can make a contribution to our gathering. We do appreciate it. It's not required, but we really humbly honor and thank those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. Not only has it helped us pay for all the equipment, but quite honestly, you've put food on the table for us. 3 years ago, we lost our lives as we knew them, and we had to recreate ourselves and do things online. So honest to God, you really did help us pay our bills, pay the electric, pay the mortgage, put food on the table for us. So we really thank you for that. Also, you can find a link to our Facebook group. You can look at the top of the page. There's a link for Carrie and Phil's mediumship, what's coming up in the world of mediumship training. You can get started in our mediumship level 1 class, always a good way. They're starting to travel the world, and they might just be in a city near you, but it is worth traveling to see them. You'll also see a link to Scott Milligan's things that he's got going on. Of course, we offer a Monday class with him. We have Tuesdays sitting in the power hours, and he's got some trips ahead to Scotland and to the Netherlands as well. On our store page, there's even more things going on. We've got a monthly grief cafe. Again, you can find the Sunday gathering link just about everywhere, because we really want you to keep coming back. It's never too soon to register. I'm sure there's more that I've missed, but again, just make yourself at home at that wedon'tdie.com page. When you click on the store, if you find my audiobook, We Don't Die, you can use coupon code FREE. Chapter 10, I think, is the most important chapter, because it is how to survive grief. Like I said when I spoke earlier, we can get in those depths of depression and grief, and it's tough. So just to have a few tools to help you through the journey, I really want to share that with you. So use coupon code FREE and be my guest to listen to that. So I'm going to send it over to Phil.
Thank you, Sandra. When you said that Avril had got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, it took me back a number of years where I used to work on national radio, and I was on several different breakfast shows, and I used to remember getting up there, and I used to think, why do I do this? So Avril, and my hat goes off to you getting up that early in the morning. But I'm going to embarrass somebody else, because there's a lady in the audience called Shirley Ann Sharp that has been up with us all through the night, and she's still awake to support. The students that we have, it's absolutely fantastic, the dedication they have to serving the spirit world and to be wanting to set that bar that little bit higher and push through. So Avril, I know we've given you feedback, and I know you've made those changes, and everything we've asked you to do, we saw there, and I know you're still working through it. So it's absolutely incredible to see you work. But ladies and gentlemen, come here. I want to tell you a little bit more. All just for Sandra, okay? Because life is what you make it. And today is about anniversaries. And I've already said Darren's spoken, Kerry's spoken, Sandra's spoken. Anniversaries are not just people's birthdays. Today is Mother's Day. And as I said before, mothers to be, and those mothers in the spirit world as well. I want to say happy birthday to everyone that's got a birthday coming up. And I also want to say happy wedding anniversary as well to all those people that have just had one and coming up as well. But also our thoughts, myself, Kerry's, Sandra's and Darren's thoughts, go to all those people that have a loved one's anniversary coming up, those that have transpired back to that unseen world. And congratulations to all those people that are getting engaged last week or this week, maybe, all in that planning and doing sort of thing. There's so many reasons to love, but it's also those reasons why we need to live as well. We've got birthdays coming up. We've got special anniversaries. We've got absolutely everything. But let's not forget about every day that we live. A simple smile, you know, that beaming smile that Sandra has, can infect so many people. Sandra's a living testimony to that. Just to see somebody's eyes glint and have that sparkle makes our days. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to promise to do something for me, to do one thing hard every day. So I want you to dance like nobody is watching. I want you to sing like nobody is listening to you, because I want your soul to shine so it infects many other people. So they pick up that bug and do it themselves and talk about it. But when they speak about it, like all your comments in the chat box, when we're reading them, there's a smile that came up. So make memories, live life, really grab hold of it by the horns and do those things that make you feel good. There's nothing selfish about it, because if you do those things, you'll help other people move forward within their lives and give them the courage, because you never know if you're going to be that person that inspires them, leads them forward to make their changes, because you never know who is watching. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being wonderfully part of this gathering, saying thank you and happy birthday to us all, because without you, this wouldn't be so special. Without you, Darren, Kerry, Sandra, and myself wouldn't know what to do with themselves on a Sunday, for instance, okay? And those that are planning a special event, raise a glass from me, Sarah, and Sandra, I'm making names up now. From myself, you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Raise a glass from all of us to life. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Phil, and thank you to each and every one of you for joining us for the past 3 years. What a wonderful 3 years it's been. If you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank and offer our love to our friends, brothers and sisters from across the world for giving us a moment of your time here today and being part of this Sunday gathering, and for each and every Sunday for coming together as one and being together in service to allow us all to embrace the joy and the wonder of these Sunday gatherings under that banner of We Don't Die. We'd like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen for having the faith and the trust in us to be part of this wonderful Sunday gathering, and each and every Sunday gathering for the past 3 years. We truly appreciate your dedication and support and allowing us all to embrace in the joy and celebration of uniting the two worlds together as one, and for allowing us all to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and embrace that healing balm, and to leave each and every Sunday gathering feeling joy and uplifted from the words and thoughts that are shared each and every week from that world we call unseen. It brings us joy to our hearts and our minds each and every week. We are all on a never-ending journey, continually learning, growing and developing, so that we can continue to walk side by side, hand in hand with your world, to represent your world and work alongside your work, so that we can truly be the best that we can be. Each week we come together and do this with that most love and respect for the unseen world, and we truly hope we can make a difference, and we truly hope we make you proud week in and week out. As we leave this Sunday gathering here today, feeling joy and uplifted, we say goodbye to this day and wait for the dawn of a new day and a new week and a new start, where we can go forward feeling joy and uplifted, looking forward to more celebrations to come forward within our lives. And we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continually walk by our side, hand in hand, each and every day, and we can go forward in our truth, knowing that love and life are both eternal. As we go forward to our new week, we continually ask that our healing balm continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring the joy and the comfort to all those that may be in need at this time. Until we meet again, my friends, amen.
Thank you so much, Darren, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today. As we go into our closing song, don't stop believing. Don't stop believing that your loved ones are around. Don't stop believing that your life is for a purpose and that you're special. And don't stop believing that we love you. You are very much part of our community, even though we just show up on the computer or on your phone. A special shout out to our friends who join us each week from the spirit world. And I just send my love to Carrie, Phil, and Darren. Thank you so much, you guys. I love you so very much. You never know what can get started when some good people come together with an idea. So I'm proud of us. So here's our closing song. I might have given you a hint. Don't stop believing. Oh, you gotta love that song. Well, don't miss next week because we're moving into our 4th year together. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for being our part of our Sunday gathering. We love you. We'll see you next week, if not sooner. Don't stop believing. You're special. We love you. And you have loved ones surrounding you. Mwah. Happy birthday, Sunday gathering. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy every day. Bye, everyone.